Today, I'm going to show you hands down the best cold calling strategy to use in 2026 to book hundreds of meetings with qualified leads. Over the last 5 years, I've made more than 500,000 dials and tested dozens of different strategies, scripts, everything. And nothing has worked better than what I'm about to show you. This business used this strategy to achieve $70 million in pipeline in less than 6 months. And I've taught countless SDRs this exact method to help them see an average of 2 to 3 booked deals per day and generate a very competitive income. So without further ado, let's get into it here. So this is one of our current client dashboards. They're in the supply chain and logistics space. So we are generating sales qualified meetings via cold call with directors of operations. You can see general managers, president of retail operations, essentially flooded their calendar with qualified opportunities, essentially decision makers or strong influencers in logistics. Company size is usually 2 pallets of shipment per month. And then really any industry in the retail space I'll take. Quite a few meetings for them upcoming here. We've got 4 on the books for tomorrow, 3 on Friday, some for the week after that. And then usually we don't let reps schedule any more than 3 weeks out. Here's another client dashboard. And this client is in the sales technology space. So they're a data broker specifically for companies selling into the state, local, and education space. Today, I believe they had 9 meetings on the calendar, 9 set to show tomorrow. And as you can see here, we're talking with sales executives, so regional sales VP, director of sales and marketing, director of national business development. So these are all executives at a pretty large company. This company is doing $1 billion in annual revenue, 5,000 employees in the hospital and healthcare industry. These are not just Joe Schmoes that we're booking with. These are, real business executives that we are booking just via cold calling. So no emailing, no paid ads, no SEO, just straight cold calling. Glencoco, as a company, also eats their own dog food. And we also have some upcoming meetings. So our reps will also dial on behalf of Glencoco. It's great because obviously reps on our platform are making a living. So why not spread the love and share with companies what's possible via the phones? So let's talk about how to actually cold call the way people are cold calling today. The first thing you're going to want to do before you start your cold calling campaign is actually find the people that you want to talk to. One of the old school ways, the OG ways to find leads is, believe it or not, Google Maps. So you can straight up go on Google Maps and type in, so if I'm a merchant processor and I want to target restaurants, and I can go one by one and take their phone number and then put it into a spreadsheet. And then basically you go down the line for each one and you take every single phone number. And you want to do this first before you start cold calling. You don't want to try to do one-offs. You want to compile a list so you can just bang through an entire sheet's worth of businesses. Then it's kind of crazy. I've been in the space for so long. It's kind of crazy that people still dial off of their mobile phone and don't realize, if you make too many calls from your mobile phone, you'll just get marked as spam. They don't know that softwares exist where you can buy phone numbers, multiple phone numbers, and continually rotate them so you always come up as a normal number. What's the traditional way? I don't know. If you're still dialing off your mobile phone, that's crazy for a full-fledged cold calling campaign. If you're using a dialer, great. You're ahead of I would say most people. From there, they load them up into a dialer. And by the time they start calling, they're saying the same generic script that every other sales rep is saying. So you end up with a whole bunch of hangups. And then after doing that 1,000 times, you can logically conclude that cold calling doesn't work. That's not why you're here. You're here to learn the best strategy in cold calling today. So let's hop into that. The first thing is we're going to want to find some leads. And you can use a website like ZoomInfo, Apollo. There's a whole bunch of them out there that you can basically search their database. They've basically scraped and did this, internet scraping thing for you. You can now put in the filters that you're looking for in your prospects and then export that entire list into your dialing system. So let's say we're trying to target HR titles. So we can go here, job title. We can do HR as a title itself. And then maybe we want talent acquisition. We have, our offer is human resources software. So we want to target these talent acquisition and human resources titles. And then we want anyone managerial and above. We don't want any non-decision makers. Contact info, we want either their mobile or direct number. And then we're going to go industries. We'll just say we want folks in the business services, consumer services, maybe finance. Maybe we want to stay away from government. We'll go healthcare, hospitals, insurance, law firms, retail's good, software's good, telecommunication, and then transportation. Okay, great. And then we don't want anyone less than 100 employees because those deal sizes aren't worth it for us. And then revenue, they need to be doing at least, say, 10 million in annual revenue. Okay, great. And then location-wise, we want them all US and Canada. Here's your entire TAM right here. Now you can just contact these 200,000 people. But here's the secret weapon. And this is like a new emerging kind of trend in the cold calling space. A lot of these data brokers and sales technology softwares have a feature that will score how likely people are to pick up. So ZoomInfo does this. It's called Likely to Engage. Connect and Sell has it. It's called Fast Phone Numbers. Orum's got Hot Numbers. And then Glencoco has Glengarry's. You really want to leverage some of this emerging technology to get people that actually pick up. So now we turned on Likely to Engage, and we have 12,500 people that are very likely to pick up. And so you can see right here, it's indicated by the little fire emoji on their, work line, mobile line, and then also email as well. So that's really cool. So from here, it's pretty simple. You can save the search, and usually there's like an export button. So let's see, we want to sample this, and then we can straight up just export it, right? So do we want Excel? Do we want it to the email? Or do we want it to go straight to our CRM? The second emerging technology that not a lot of people are aware of is what's called a parallel dialer. Even in some of our past videos, people are like, there's no way you can make 500,000 dials in 5 years. Well, I'm here to tell you it's, 2026 and it's the modern era, and a thing called parallel dialing exists where you can make 3, 4, 5, up to 10 dials at the exact same time on this software. Whoever picks up first out of those people that you're dialing will get connected to you, and then the rest will, essentially, the call will be canceled for the rest of them. One of the constraints of a parallel dialer is you have to make sure your deliverability scores on those phone numbers are in good standings. If you make too many calls from certain numbers, it'll get marked as spam by carriers like Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. Some of these parallel dialers make you monitor your phone numbers yourself. So a platform like Glencoco takes care of that for you. They will automatically rotate phone numbers as soon as it detects that too many calls have been made from that specific phone number. The next piece a lot of sales teams get gummed up on is like, what do you actually say? This is the winning cold call talk track that we've observed over millions and millions of outbound sales calls. So it's very simple. You're going to start with your intro. You're going to go into your main pitch, and then you're going to fall back into a downsell and close. Some people call this the pullback, but you're going to go for the meeting. And then you're going to schedule the meeting and then go into qualification questions. And then after the qualification questions, you'll end the call. All you need to know is this is the winning formula for outbound calls at scale. Basically, I'm going to give you this screenplay. I'm going to perform it for you, and then feel free to, execute this on your own, right? So it'll sound something like, hey, John. Oh, yeah. Hey, John, it's Micah over at Starbridge. I know I'm catching you out of the blue here, but I guess, do you mind if I grab half a minute? I'll tell you why I called, and you can let me know if it's relevant or not. So the ums and ahs are intentional. We're double tapping them on the name. The tonality is low and slow, slightly above monotone. Chris Voss would call this your late night FM DJ voice. Just because you have the words doesn't necessarily mean it's going to perform as well as the next person who performs this. After that, you're going to go into a pattern interrupt. Appreciate that. And then have you heard of Starbridge, just by the off chance? Okay, no worries. Feel free to stop me if it's not making sense. All right, so this is a pattern interrupt, like you're going one way, then you go another way, and then it's a softball question. The reason why it's not a find out question like, oh, are you the decision maker for X, or do you handle, slide accounts at your business, is because you haven't earned enough trust for them to open up yet, right? So from there, you're going to go into an upfront contract that allows them to cut you off at any point and not feel like, a complete a-hole. Like, it's okay to cut me off. So you're protecting their okayness, and, feel free to stop me at any point for any reason, really. From there, you're going to go into your main pitch. So it'll sound something like, so quick thumbnail on us, Starbridge. We are a go-to-market intelligence platform built specifically for folks selling into the public sector, right? Pause there. And then And so what we're seeing from a high level is that more than 80% of RFPs are pre-written for a selected vendor. So the big question is, is it possible to get in front of every one of your target agencies or schools, if you're going after K through 12, before you get lost in the stack of generic proposals? And so to cut to it, our superpower lies in our AI-driven ability to surface every single intent signal through think board meeting minutes, strategic plans, and even grant approvals. And we do it in a way where you can see line by line what your competitors are selling, who they're selling to, and when their contracts expire. So pretty bananas in the space. So we're doing a lot here. The big things you want to know is this is sort of your headline statement. We call this a status alignment riff. And then you're going into furthering your position as a peer in the space, as an expert in the space, by saying, what's the macroeconomic trend? What are people in their shoes facing on a day-to-day basis that everyone kind of knows, but everyone just has to live with, right? Or maybe they don't know it. And so now you're bringing it to the forefront, and you're bringing it in such a manner that kind of shows your expert status. Like, the only way we know this is because we've been playing in this field for so long. You tee up the change in the world, tee up like the big question, introduce some skepticism, right? You're not all sunshine and rainbows like every other sales guy that's trying to, pitch features and benefits. And then from there, you can fall back into how you solve that problem in a unique way, or how you solve that problem that maybe other folks aren't doing, right? So what makes you different? What's your one X factor? You have really about like 20 to 30 seconds to like knock their socks off. Like, just blow their mind and create massive curiosity and intrigue, because you're hitting all the notes. Basically, they're like, holy shit, I got to see what the hell's going on. There's something going on here. I don't know what it is. I might not necessarily know everything of like what it is right now, but it's enough for me to keep listening and see, okay, how is this going to shake out, right? Then you go into your downsell and close. Your downsells like pull back, handle their, top 1 or 2 objections that you're probably going to get. And then from there, downsell the meeting, lower the stakes of a meeting. So it's like not a massive commitment. That could sound something like, and so Mr. Prospect, my timing's probably off here. And I know you might already be using tools like Zoom Info or even a GovSpend, but that's exactly why we've been hosting these 15-minute Zoom screen shares, just to showcase the dashboards and AI in action. And then from there, maybe you keep us in the back pocket for down the road. So yeah, you game to loop up, say, tomorrow afternoon, lower the stakes, still have some good novel words and phrases in there. And that's about it. So then you ask, schedule the meeting, and then a tool like, if your dialer permits, like Glencoco, you can book the meeting straight up within your CRM. If there's like a Calendly integration, I strongly recommend tools like HubSpot, Calendly, cal.com to stay organized and send out automatic notifications to the prospect, automatic text reminders. So all that you can do with software. And then from there, that's when you've built enough trust to actually qualify the meeting. So fall back into your budget, authority, need, and timeline questions after you've already secured it. And then if you find out, you're like, well, okay, I don't want to waste time. If you're starting a cold calling campaign, you're new to this, you don't know what good looks like. And so you can't get good until you get frequent. The way you get frequent is to do the same pitch over and over and over and over and over again. The more times you can get to the pitch, even if you're pitching the wrong person, is so critical to ramping up and making cold calling as a channel work for your business. Now you just put it all together. Now it's really simple with your likely to engage leads. And then you load up your dialer and then you click a button. So let's see if we can get at least one pitch out so you can get the spirit of this. And then we're off to the races. So now it's dialing 3 people at a time. I like to have it on 3 because any more than that, you're burning through leads a little too quickly. And, oh, hey, Yannick. Oh, yeah, hey, Yannick. It's Micah over at Defensive Networks. I know I'm...
Where? I'm sorry, where?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Defensive Networks. Not sure if that name still rings a bell, but, I know I'm catching out of the blue here. Do you mind if I grab half a minute? I'll tell you why I called, and you can let me know if it's relevant.
I'm in my car. What is this about?
Yeah, I'll be quick then. And then, do you remember us at all? Defensive Networks?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, quick 10-second thumbnail. It just cut me off if it's not relevant anymore. But Defensive Networks, we are currently trusted by 1,400 companies and 87 of the Fortune 1000 to secure their environment. So think Amazon, Walt Disney, Google. And,
okay, that's great. What is your product?
Yeah. So the reason I pinged you, and as you probably know, 92% of attacks happen at the identity level, with email being a massive focal point of these breaches. And so, what we discovered with our partner Abnormal Security is that most well meaning organizations look at stopping these attacks by relying on basic authentication markers. So, think SPF, DKIM, DMARC, and it's sort of the equivalent of bringing a leather helmet to play in a 2025 NFL speed football game,
Okay.
if you will.
So we're past the 10 seconds anyway. But I will tell you, we already using CrowdStrike to do all that.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Okay. And those decisions are actually at the corporate level.
Okay. So even if you were to take a look at, say, another like systems
No,
integrator or VAR, it probably wouldn't fall at
no,
your feet then.
no, it's done. And then on top of that, we're being acquired. So I'm kind of in limbo here.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Yannick. Well, let me
All right.
update our records so we don't keep bugging you. But outside of that, yeah, appreciate you hearing me out, and I'll let you get back to it here.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, so just like that, you saw me get a conversation in what, like 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And that's how you can have those trust-based conversations at scale. Because at the end of the day, it's all about engaging with your potential customers as quickly as possible. That's really the strategy people who are winning in cold calling are doing today. It's not sexy. There's no complex workflows, no cold emailing a part of this. And organizations are booking dozens of meetings every single week using this exact method that I just showed you. Pair high intent leads with a parallel dialer and equip yourself or your reps with a face melter screenplay. That's what it takes to win in cold calling today. Now, what I know helps me learn something faster is watching someone else do it live. So click here if you want to see me put all of this in practice live and actually make real cold calls until I book 10 deals. Oh, and to raise the stakes, I'm also racing against the clock in that one. Otherwise, I owe my friend an all expenses paid trip to Bali, and I only have 10 hours to book the 10 sales calls. So we'll see you over there.